Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm your instructor Joy. Thank you very much for your continued support. I really appreciate. So today we're going to talk about motivating ourselves to practice, or trying to motivate our students or our family members to practice. Because we all know practicing is an important, essential part in order to become a good violinist. But we also know that sometimes we don't feel like to practice, or the students don't feel like practicing, and our family members don't feel like practicing. How do we help those or ourselves so that we feel motivated to practice, which is the important part? I'm going to give you a 6 list that you can try, and you will see it's not that hard actually. Number 1, have goals. Having a little goal, that's whether it's with a violin playing or anything else, always motivate us to do something. It can be a little deadline saying I want to learn such so-and-so piece by so-and-so time, or I think the best way is having some kind of performance engagement. It does not have to be a concert in a huge hall or in front of so many people, even though that's also a good idea. But if you can organize even a family concert in front of your loved ones, which will be happy just to hear you playing anyway, or play for a community center, or if you're churchgoers, go play for your church at your church service, or even if you want to volunteer, play for seniors in senior homes. I'm sure they would be happy that somebody took a moment to come and visit them and make music for them. And find an environment where you feel more comfortable, and then always, once you set the time, set the date of the performance, it's kind of, you are going to be amazed how much you can actually improve in such a short time. I call it healthy stress. So a little pressure, but in a healthy way that pushes us a bit, so that will motivate us, most of us, to practice for sure. This too. Listen to good recordings and go to live concerts. We all have experienced that one. We haven't practiced for a little while, and then we heard somebody playing or a recording, and all of a sudden, oh, that's such a beautiful piece, I wish I can play. And then we start picking up the violin and playing. Or we went to a concert and then we saw a great soloist playing beautifully, and then we're like, okay, now I'm gonna try and then see if I can become like that too. That's a good way. It's not only good for your musical growth in general, but it certainly motivates us to practice. List 3. Find your musician buddies, musician friends, meaning it can be violinist friends that sometimes just having circle of musician friends are helpful. You can just play duo together, like do pieces for 2 violins. Or it does not even have to be violinists. It can be pianists, cellists, singers, so that you kind of make a meeting or moment to share music together. That may not be playing the practicing pieces or performing pieces that you're practicing, but still it's the same idea. It brings back to music, so it motivates you to come back to music, which will ultimately help you to pick up your violin and practice at home. And sometimes also watching other player about your level also motivates us. Sometimes if we play other players who are so great, and then we think, oh well, I'm never gonna get that one. But sometimes when we watch others about our level or a bit higher, or people who started up at the same time, and then we watch others do how they do, whether it's good or bad things, we learn from their improvement, because then we think, oh, we have to catch up or something like that, a little healthy competition. Or the mistakes that they make. Often mistakes are universal because we happen to have a similar body structure. So from seeing others' mistake, then we learn from it, and then we go home, we try, oh, I did not see that mistake. See if I'm doing the same mistake, then we can correct ourselves. If not, then good for you. Now, next one. List 4. Plan your practice. Planning is good, whether it's with a violin playing or something else. Sometimes, you have to be flexible. Planning always doesn't go as we want it. But in general, having a little plan. So before you go to bed, say tomorrow I want to have so and so day, and then I want to practice so and so time and so order. I want to do that, and then just alone thinking about it, the half battle is already won. Yeah, and then once you start doing it, you will see it's gonna just or mentally, or you're already there. Yeah, and then when you start practicing with your body, then you're gonna see it's much easier than starting out of nowhere, with unprepared mind. List 5. Just start. I know it's simple. So sometimes I don't feel like practicing, or oh, I have so many things to do. What am I gonna do? I have only 10 minutes. Am I gonna practice or not? I have to admit, I have that kind of moments too. I don't always feel like practicing, and I have to push myself sometimes. But I realize once I start practicing, then after a little while, it can be 5 minutes, it can be 10 minutes, then I actually start enjoying it. Then I'm glad I did it, even though sometimes it takes a little push. Yeah, we have to push ourselves or our students. Just compromise with yourself or with students or with your family member. Just if they don't feel like practicing, or if you don't feel like practicing, okay, I'm gonna just try for 15 minutes. And after trying 15 minutes, if I still don't feel like it, then I'm gonna just wrap up and then finish the day or call it a day. But just start, just give a try. And then you have nothing to lose. The only thing that, you can, either you already moved your fingers, which is great, or you end up liking it, like it happens a lot with me, then you have a proper practicing session, which would be even better. Last list, number 6, but it's very, very important. Rewards after practicing. When we're little in the kindergarten, when we did well, we got stickers, we got hugs, we got a lot of rewarding rewards and then encouraging words by our teachers. Even though when we're grown up, it still goes. So be nice to yourself, be nice to your students, be nice to your family member. Once they have finished their practicing session, whether it was good or bad, just the fact they finish it, or just the fact that you actually put yourself and did it, afterwards, be nice. Do something nice to yourself or to your students. It can be just go for a walk, do something nice to yourself, or it can be a simple, small pleasure things. It does not have to be extravagant, a huge one, but a certain recognition of work well done to yourself or your students. It's a very, very important part. It's an important part because it makes you feel good, but also it helps you to stay motivated for the next practicing session. Yeah. So I really want you to try these ones, because it really makes a huge difference, and so that your practicing becomes a part of a pleasurable thing, not just doing a chore. Yeah. So I wish you all happy practicing and fun practicing. Hope to see you again. Bye bye.